Gucci.
I'm always stressed like something's not recording, bro.
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
You
Something
just never
messes
know.
up. You know what I mean? We go back to episode 2. I didn't turn on my lights. I was pissed, bro.
Bugging.
I was super pissed. I was like, I'm never doing this ever again.
Tripping.
I give up on the
give up
podcast, bro.
It doesn't take much, huh? It doesn't take much.
But back to the fit, man. The fit is looking good, bro.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm going for that mechanic look.
Yeah.
You know that
Nah,
mechanic look?
that's just
Listen,
swaggy.
this looks like your control arm's gone. And it's affecting the alternator propulsion system in the pump. So that's why you're getting that funny noise.
Bro,
I just need a towel to start and just need to be wiping my hands. So,
you should give it a towel, too. Put it over your shoulder.
No name tag here.
We might get more subs then, man.
That's
People
it.
looking to fix their cars and stuff, you know? It's car season, bro.
I'm gonna progressively try and up my fit on the show and be have a little bit more pizzazz for y'all.
You're gonna press me. You're gonna come in one day, I know, with like a crazy suit, nice tie, just fresh
pocket
to death,
square,
bro.
just sheesh.
Fam,
Yeah,
you know how I dress for this podcast?
yeah. And maybe that could be the
No.
It's just position.
Do you know how I justify what I wear on this podcast?
Why?
Whatever's clean, bro.
Whatever's clean.
before you got here, I was like, what am I gonna wear? I'm
man.
like, what's clean? Okay, I haven't worn these jeans this week.
Yeah.
All right, what shirt? This is literally the only t-shirt I have that's clean, fam.
Do you like your laundry every day, like the same day every week and stuff? Like, do you have?
I try to do it on the weekends.
Yeah, but do you have like? Is it always Saturday, always Sunday? Which kind of
typically, like lately, it switches up though. But
Yeah.
typically, like probably like a Sunday evening, I'll probably do it like last minute almost.
which kind of leads me to maybe something we should talk about, like routine. Do you have routines? Do you have find routine helps and like, where do you where do you see routine benefiting you in your life, and where do you see where it like maybe hinders you and
For
maybe
me,
costs you? Yeah,
routine, structure,
is that everything?
absolutely everything.
Yeah,
I excel
with structure.
so much further when I have a structured routine in my life.
Yeah,
If I'm pushing my hardest,
Mhm.
it's because I have a routine, and everything's going well because I have a routine. If I know I'm gonna schedule my time to do this at this time, do that at this time, everything is just that much better for me.
Mhm.
And when I don't have a routine, when something like knocks me off of it, everything it gets a lot more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say like everything like just fails. It gets a lot more difficult for me. But routine, I've noticed for a long, long time has been a key factor to like success for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I would say kind of the same. I would definitely say the same. I excel better. I just do better with routine. I think the problem for me right now is just like my type of work and like what I do, business wise, isn't so structured. I'm at the mercy sometimes of other people's schedule. I'm doing other stuff aside from training. So, meetings and stuff, I have to kind of coordinate when that can happen with other people. So it throws things off. But having said that, still having some type of structure definitely helps. Just it's much easier when you just know for the week like where everything is and what happens on every day. But for me, I kind of have to plan that like a day before, sometimes 2 days before.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes things challenging. It makes it much. I see the biggest challenge for me is it makes an impact on my training and eating for our health viewers and whatnot. Because you're like, oh, well, you do X, Y, Z, and then you're like, oh shit, I haven't eaten like 4 hours, 5 hours. Well, for you, that's okay because you do your intermittent fasting thing. But, maybe for you, what happens if that happens at a time where you're supposed to be eating and then you get caught up in stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you work around that? Like when you get bumped off of your schedule and routine, what's your thought process to get yourself back on track?
So usually when I get bumped off, typically it could be due to like stress, something like stressful is going on in my life,
Yeah.
or something really good is going on in my life. I got pulled over here to do something over here, so things are actually going really well in
Yeah.
that moment. So I just can't deal with my routine right now. But how I get back to it, I try to always stay on it as much as possible. So another reason why I get up early and go to the gym, because even though the routine for the rest of the day might not be there, that routine of waking up at 3:30 and getting to the gym by 4 is there. So at least I did get that part of my routine in, even though me editing at 9 o'clock didn't happen, or me having lunch at 12 or whenever I want to eat
Yeah.
didn't happen. I always try to at least do part of my routine, if that makes sense, right? To not just like completely fall off of it.
Right.
I'm always trying to get some sort of the routine in. If I fall completely off, man, I just remember that I'm so much better on my routine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to get back on. And
Yeah.
and usually you have to sacrifice something, or like, or if, you know, something like a bad habit is making you fall off your routine, like you're scrolling too much, or you're just watching too much of YouTube, or whatever you're doing, whatever made you fall off your routine, you have to say, you know what, I'm not doing as well now because I'm not on my routine.
Yeah.
Get back on it. It's just like discipline. You know what I mean?
You said it. I was just the whole time I was just thinking, like, at some point in this podcast, I do want to talk about discipline.
Yeah.
It's just been something that's been kind of coming up in like my head all week. That, you know, I think that might be, as men, that might be the most important quality to have. Like, that might be the top priority to have is discipline.
Yeah.
But to kind of piggyback off what you said, I think for me, when I fall off my routine, I try to stay on as much as I can and where I can. But then I just kind of, if it's not going the way it needs to go, I just reset. I just say, okay, today might not be a win for me. Just make tomorrow a win. And try and learn from what happened that day. Maybe I stayed on the computer too long. Maybe, it got late and what I was supposed to do, like, I don't think I would have done it well. Like, for example, for me, I know writing client programs and stuff like that and stuff like later on in the night, it's not the best for me because I'm starting to get, like, my brain gets foggy in that kind of sense.
Yeah. For me, that's why I have to get that work done earlier in the day.
Yeah. So, like, my creativity, it's weird because my creativity, like my thoughts and like new abstract thoughts are better in the evening.
Oh, really?
But during the day is where I can get work done. So, like, for me, the perfect routine is I get up, I do something active first before I eat, which is like, I don't have to lift weights or anything, but just like a jog or walk or something moving. Yeah. And then I eat and do work at the same time. And then I can take like a second to kind of like, okay, chill for a second. And then I'll do my workout. Yeah. And I can do more work if I want to. Yeah. And then later on in the evening is where I can kind of be like, okay, let's think of some ideas, maybe watch some YouTube videos, get some ideas. And read, but I don't want to be doing anything where I have to like really focus really, really, really hard. Yeah. In the evening to like I said, do work or something. It's just not a good time for me.
It's something I play with a lot too. Because I'm kind of like obsessed with like working more efficiently.
Yeah, me too.
I have a super busy life. Just so much going on. And I'm always trying to like work at my optimal like potential. So I'm like, what can I do to like be better? You always see me with that. Yeah. Be better, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, if I get up, to me, like, if I don't train, I'm probably not training for the rest of the day. There's just
in the morning.
Yeah. If I don't train first thing, I just have so much going on the rest of the day. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. Right? It's just, I'm going to miss it. So I know that's number one. Like, I have to get that out of the way. And what's huge right now is I'm not cluttering my mind first thing in the morning.
Like with thoughts, you're not checking, looking at emails or anything like
I
that.
try to avoid it.
Yeah, me too.
Minimum an hour.
Me too.
Minimum an hour.
Yeah.
Like, don't pick up that phone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't check your feed. Don't check your email. Nothing. I don't want to absorb any information. I want my own thoughts.
Yeah.